You ever been in a situation where you pulled back from a woman? Maybe you got rid of chasing, or maybe you just wanted some space and suddenly she started acting different. At first she was hot and cold, but the moment ya went silent, the game changed. She's checking your stories, liking your old posts, asking your mutual friends about you. Sound familiar? Every man eventually learns this hard truth. A woman feels more in your absence than she ever admits in your presence. We live in a world where most guys think if they are not constantly texting her, complimenting her, or showing up for her, she forget them. That's false. You being gone does something to her psychology. Your silence echoes in places you don't see. It triggers thoughts, emotions, and even insecurities she tries to suppress, especially in a world where women are used to attention. When your attention disperses, it doesn't go unnoticed. You need to understand how this works. Not from a manipulative angle, but so you stop doubting yourself every time you give space. Absence, when done right, speaks louder than words. It creates security, respect, emotional pressure, and sometimes even obsession. In this video, I'll break down what a woman truly feels during your absence and how exchange affects her emotionally and mentally. I'm not here to sell fantasy, I'm here to explain reality. If you've ever wondered what she thinks when you're not calling, not texting, not chatting, this will connect the dots. Let's get into it. The shock of silence one, the shock of silence. When you go quiet on a woman, especially after you have been present, consistent and emotionally available, her first reaction isn't calm or indifferent, it's shock. And no, she won't always show it. You probably think she's unfazed, living her best life, laughing with friends, and posting selfies. But behind that, there's a shift happening. Silence isn't nothing. It's a loud signal that something has changed. And trust me, women are highly sensitive to changes in energy and attention. In today's dating world, most women are used to men over-explaining, checking in, and trying to secure their spot in her life. So when you do the opposite, when you stop showing up, it catches her off guard. She starts asking herself, why isn't heckling? Me? Did I say something wrong? Is he talking to someone else? She'll play it cool, but mentally she's scrambling for answers. Even if she was unsure about you, your absence now forces her to evaluate what you felt. Women feel clarity in silence. When you're always present, always available, it becomes background noise, something she assumes will always bother. But the second you remove yourself, the dynamic flips. Now she's wondering, thinking, replaying. You've gone from predictable to unpredictable. And that's powerful. Here's the reality. When you stop feeding her attention, she doesn't just lose your words. She loses the security she felt in knowing you were emotionally invested. That's a hit to her ego, especially if she was never expecting you to walk away. Your silence becomes a challenge. Not just emotionally, but psychologically. And in that quietment, that's when she starts noticing things. The playlist you made her hits different. The inside jokes you shared sting a little. Even scrolling past your name starts to feel like unfinished business. She's not showing it, but she's feeling it. The rise of curiosity too, the rise of curiosity. After the initial shock fades, something else kicks in. Curiosity, and this is where things start to get interesting. She's not necessarily missing you out of love yet. She's curious because your behavior has interrupted her expectation of how men typically act. You see, women are used to men being predictable. If you text her every morning and suddenly stop, it's like turning off background music that she didn't even realize was playing until the silence becomes too loud to ignore. At this stage, she starts thinking, what's he doing? Why did he pull away? Did he meet someone else? Was he even into me at all? That's the power of your absence. It creates space for questions, and curiosity is emotional bait. She might not admit it, but she's scanning for signs of your presence. Watching your story, asking mutual friends, visiting your page, maybe even testing you with a vague message just to see if you'll bite. She wants data, and when she doesn't get it, that curiosity turns into an itch she can't scratch. What's funny is this is the same woman Hopper Babley acted like she didn't care for. Maybe she took long to reply, gave you mixed signals, or even kept. We in the maybe zone, but now that you flip the script, her mind is chasing what her ego thought it could control. This isn't manipulation. This is psychology. Humans are drawn to mystery. And in the dating world, mystery creates value. Think about it. When a woman knows everything about you, when she can predict your next move, when your energy is always available, you become boring fest. But when she doesn't know where Ash stands with you, her emotional brain stays active. She starts romanticizing mints that didn't even matter before. That coffee date you had 2 weeks ago. It replays in her head with new meaning, that last hug you gave her. Now she's wondering if you knew you were pulling away. The mistake most men make is breaking the silence too soon. The moment they sense she's thinking about them, they rush back in to resecure the connection. But curiosity needs time to grow. If you interrupt it too early, you're said everything. She goes back to being in control and you go back to being predictable. Let her sit in that curiosity, let her wonder. Let her feel that emotional space grow until it's not just curiosity anymore, but a genuine desire to know what's going on with you. Because once that switch flips, she's no longer passive. She starts chasing answers. And that's when the dynamic starts shifting in your favor. The ego begins to panic. The ego begins to panic. Now, we enter the stage that most men never realize is happening. Her ego starts to panic. This isn't about love yet. It's not even always about missing you specifically. What's panicking inside her is the part of her that thought she had you. That quiet confidence she had in Belyavinju were emotionally invested. That Yao would always be there, that you needed her more than she needed you, that starts crumbling. When a woman notices that your absence is consistent and not just a short-term mood or strategy, it forces her to deal with something women rarely like to confront. The loss of control. In today's dating culture, attention is new currency. Women are used to being flooded with it. From DMs, likes, and good morning text, to men waiting on them, proving themselves, competing for their time. But when a man disconnects, when he detaches and does it without amble down or explanation, that's power can't buy with her looks or charm. This is when the I thought he'd be back be now thoughts creep in. She start checking your last scene, wondering why our status is blank. She might even start posting more, trying to trigger a reaction. Her panic doesn't always look dramatic. It's subtle. A soft reach out, a random memory sent to your inbox, a message that says, I just thought of you. When in reality she's been thinking about you for days. The reason this hits her ego so hard is because she built her sense of value on how much you wanted her. And now that you're gone, she's left alone with the question now woman wants to ask herself, why didn't fight for me? It burns because deep down it challenges her belief that she was the prize, the one in control, Theon being pursued. Now she's not even sure if you were truly into her or worse, if she was ever truly enough for you. This doesn't mean she come crawling back yet. Women are prideful too, but she's rattled. She's emotionally uncomfortable. Her ego issuing and looking for reassurance. And this is the part where she might eventually to replace you quickly, tossing me anew, post thirst traps, or act overly happy online. But it's not genuine. It's a cover-up because no one panics that hard unless something mattered more than they realized. Your job in this moment, stay still. Don't explain, don't chase. Don't try to comfort her ego, let it crack. Because from those cracks come emotional truth. And the deeper her ego falls, the more likely her heart will follow. The emotional replay. Once the ego has been shaken, a woman naturally shifts into a more vulnerable place. The emotional replay stage. This is when she begins. Going back in her mind, replaying everything that happened between Yatwo. The conversations, the laughs, the way you looked at her, the last words you said before the silence. And unlike when she may have dismissed those moments, now she starts attaching deeper meaning to them. Here's what you need to understand. Women process emotions differently than men. While you may have already moved on or mentally compartmented the relationship, she's now in that stage where thessalence is pushing her to reflect. That reflection becomes emotional fuel. Every text you sent that once seemed ordinary now feels significant. Every compliment, every look, every touch, now it plays back in her mind with weight. The things she overlooked are suddenly valuable. She might remember a night you opened up to her and wonder if she missed something. She might think about the way you supported her, the way you listened, and realize he didn't fully appreciate it. She let him start to question her own behavior. Did I push him away? Was I too cold? Did he play too many games? That's the beauty of your absence. It forces her to take accountability without you having to say a word. Now here's where it gets powerful. This stage often comes with a mix of regret and longing. Regret for how she may have handled you. Longing for the emotional presence she didn't realize was rare. And in today's world where people jump from connection to connection without processing anything, your silence stands out because it makes her process. She's not just remembering you, she's feeling you again. Women are emotional archivists. They store feelings in memory. If you made her feel safe, desired, respected, she felt that all over again during this phase, but now it's colored with a sense of loss, and that contrast between what was and what is now, it hurts her more than she'll ever admit. Even if she's the one who pulled away first, she feel it. Some women will try to silence this emotional replay by distracting themselves, scrolling endlessly, jumping into shallow flings, going out every night. But distraction is never healing. The emotions wait, they always come back when the noise fades. And this is the moment where she starts feeling that emotional hunger. Not for just any man, but for you. The you that she felt connected to. The you that gave her a version of peace, presence, or intensity she can't quite replicate. If you're a patient and you don't break the silence during this stage, she may reach out, not out of curiosity or panic this time, but out of real emotional weight. That's when the dynamic shifts from he wants me to I miss him. The comparison game begins. The comparison game begins. This is the phase where your absence does something even you couldn't have done while you were present. It forces her to compare you to every other man in her life, past or present. And trust me, this game rarely ends in anyone else's favor if you handled your absence the right way. You see, during the early days of silence, she might try to replace the void. Maybe she casually chits with another guy. Maybe she lines up a date or two. But here's what happens next. None of them feel like you. None of them connect like you did. No one mirrors your energy. No one makes her laugh quite the same. And that's when your absence starts to feel personal. Not just like distance, but like loss. Women live in a world of abundance when it comes to attention, but not quality. She can get 100 compliments a week, 1,000 likes on her selfies and still not feel seen, but when she was with you, maybe you didn't flatter her all the time, but you noticed things. You gave her a kind of attention that wasn't just about attraction. It was about understanding, intention, and depth. And now, every new guy she interacts with is being compared to that standard you set without her even realizing it. The worst part. For her ego, most of these new men don't even come close. One is too eager, another is too dry. Some try too hard to impress her. Others just want something physical. Suddenly, the fun dating world doesn't feel so fun anymore. It feels empty, superficial, and the deeper into that space she goes, the more clearly she sees what she had with you and what she lost. And yes, this even applies to women who rejected you or thought they were done. A woman can walk away from Amen thinking she's made the right decision only to come face to face with reality that what she left behind was rare. And once that realization hits, that comparison game turns into a full-on internal battle. Should I reach out? What if he's moved on? What if I was wrong about him? She might not say these things out loud, but her actions will start telling you everything. Therandom just checking on your message. The like on your story. The heart emoji on a post. Little openings to test the water to see if maybe, just maybe, there's still space for her in your world. What you need to understand as a man is this: your value often becomes most visible to a woman when you're no longer standing right in front of her. The percentage is her the uncomfortable contrast between what was and what is. And if what is falls flat, she starts remembering you. Not just emotionally, but logically. You made sense. The desire to reconnect. The desire to reconnect. At the stage, everything that's built up, curiosity, ego bruising, emotional reflection, comparison, starts transforming into something more focused and intentional. Genuine desire to reconnect. She's no longer just wondering about you or dealing with emotional echoes of what you shared. Chanel wants back in, not just for comfort, but because something inside her realizes you were different. Here's the thing about women. When they feel something deeply, they remember it for a long time. And if what they felt with you was real, safe, passionate, or even just rare, they eventually circle back to that feeling. Especially when thistulence stretches and nothing else measures up. That's when desire enters the equation. Only this time it's not built on novelty or attention-seeking. It's built on absence philactically. And here's where the pull gets strong for her. Because she doesn't just want the memory now. She wants anotherchance at experiencing what she felt again. She might not know how to approach it. She might feel awkward reaching out. She might even play it cool. But make no mistake, she's hoping for a way back into your life. Not as a stranger, not as someone you knew, but as someone who wants to reconnect with what was lost. Now, in the modern world where women are constantly entertained, distracted, and surrounded by validation, for her to come back on her own takes a lot. It means your silence left a dent that none of the noise around her could fix. And for a woman who once thought she could move on easily, that's humbling. Sometimes the desire to reconnect will look like a deep, vulnerable message. Other times it'll look like a lighthearted, "Hey stranger" text. Don't be fooled by the casual tone. She's testing the waters, she's gauging your energy. She wants talk no. Are you still the man she remembers? Did you move on? Do you still care? Your role here is crucial. If you want her back, this is the time to receive her from a place of power, not desperation. If you've truly ground during the silence, you'll be able to respond without overcompensating or rushing. If she truly desires you now, she work for it. She invest emotionally. She be more careful this time around because your silence taught her you're not a man she can afford to lose. Twice. And if you're no longer interested, you'll notice that she's more present, more intentional, more honest. Because once a woman realizes she had something valuable and let it go, her behavior changes. She stops playing games. She drops the pride. Shellens. And your absence didn't just make her miss you. It made her respect you. The fear of replacement 7, the fear of replacement. This is where it hits her on a deeper level than any curiosity, regret, or emotionality could reach. The fear that someone else might now have what she took for granted. And if you've stayed silent, elevated your life, and remained compassed, this fear becomes real to her. It's no longer about what she feels toward you. It's now about the haunting thought that another woman might be feeling it too. In today's world, replacement is common, but not real replacement. Temporary ones, surface-level attention, new flings, rebounds, but deep down, women know when they've encountered something rare. If you were a man who offered stability, emotional connection, masculine presence, and didn't chase or beg when things got quiet, she knows you stand out. And when she senses another woman might be enjoying that version of you now, that cuts her ego, her emotions, and her heart all at once. She asks herself things she won't dare say out loud. Hash found someone better? Did he realize it deserves more? Is he giving that woman the affection he used to give me? These questions don't go away quickly. They live in the background, especially if you've leveled up, posting better pictures, achieving goals, looking more confident, and appearing unbothered. That fear of being replaced is what often pushes her to act. You might notice sudden attempts to re-enter your life, either subtly or directly. She might ask about your love life, pretend to be curious, or straight up confess her feelings. Some women even go the petty route, posting with other guys, fishing for jealousy, hoping to trigger you. But behind it all is one driving thought. I didn't want to lose him to someone else. This stage is different from the earlier ones because it's driven by a sense of urgency. Before she could sit in her emotions, reflect, and fantasize. But no, she's watching time pass. And with every day she feels the window closing. You've shown you can live without her. You didn't beg. You didn't chase, Yodi sappered, and she realizes someone else might now be experiencing the version of you she thought she had to circle back to. Here's where your power as a man shines. If you've truly embraced your growth, built emotional discipline, and let go of chasing validation, you'll see her differently too. You won't be as eager, you'll be listening. You'll evaluate whether she deserves a seat back in your life because now you're not the man one needed her. You're the man she fears losing forever. And ironically, that fear, that's often the final trigger that makes her stop overthinking and act. Not from ego, not from games, but from the realization that your absence was no tactic. It was transformation. Summary: your absence, when rooted in strength, not spite, has the power to shift everything. It's not about making her suffer. It's about giving space for truth to surface. In silence, women feel. In stillness, they reflect. When you stop chasing, stop explaining, and simply walk away with dignity, you give her the mirror she was avoiding. Whether she comes back or not, you win. Beka say you didn't lose yourself trying to keep someone who didn't value you. Let her feel your absence. Let her process what your presence really meant. And remember, a man who can walk away holds power.